Welcome to the Daily Radio Bible for Kids. The day is September the 23rd. My name is Hunter, and we are reading through the Bible. That's something we do every day. We take time in God's Word. We let His Word take its time on us. In fact, kids from all around the world gather here to listen to these amazing stories from the Bible, from Genesis all the way to the book of Revelation. And today we are in the Gospel of Mark. Pilate gave in to the demands of the crowd. What did they want him to do? Let's read about it from Mark chapter 15. Now it was the governor's custom each year during the Passover celebration to release one prisoner, anyone the people requested. One of the prisoners at that time was Barabbas, a revolutionary who had committed murder in the uprising. The crowd went to Pilate and asked him to release a prisoner as usual. "Would you like me to release this king of the Jews?" Pilate asked. For he realized by now that the leading priests had arrested Jesus only out of envy. But at that point, the leading priest stirred up the crowd to demand the release of Barabbas instead of Jesus. Pilate asked them, "What should I do with this man you call the King of the Jews?" They shouted back, "Crucify him." "Why?" Pilate demanded. "What crime has he committed?" But the mob roared even louder, "Crucify him!" So to pacify the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas to them. He ordered Jesus flogged with a lead-tipped whip, then turned him over to the Roman soldiers to be crucified. The soldiers took Jesus into the courtyard of the governor's headquarters called the Praetorium and called out the entire regiment. They dressed him in a purple robe and they wove thorn branches into a crown and put it on his head. Then they saluted him and taunted, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they struck him on the head with a reed stick, spit on him, and dropped to their knees in mocking worship. When they were finally tired of mocking him, they took off the purple robe and put on his own clothes. And they led him away to be crucified. A passerby named Simon, who was from Cyrene, was coming in from the countryside, and the soldiers forced him to carry Jesus' cross. Simon was the father of Alexander and Rufus. And they brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means place of the skull. They offered him wine drugged with myrrh, but he refused it. Then the soldiers nailed him to the cross. They divided his clothes and threw dice to decide who would get each piece. Wow. Simon, the Cyrene, was coming in from the countryside, Mark tells us. He was probably a pilgrim. There were many religious pilgrims who made their way to Jerusalem for these religious festivals, and this was the Passover. This was the biggest one of the year. Cyrene is in North Africa, so he had traveled a long distance to be there on this very special occasion. Little did Simon the Cyrene know that he would be participating in the story of God's love for the world. He was chosen to help carry the cross for Jesus, that cross where Jesus would win for us life through his death. And the amazing thing is that you and I can also participate in the story of God's love for the world. Jesus now says to all of his followers, "Pick up your cross and follow me." And Simon was the first one to do that. And we get to do that today. We get to follow Jesus and participate in the great story of love that is the gospel that's being proclaimed all around the world. Wonderful. But hey, friend, we've done it. We've done it again, and I plan on being back here again tomorrow, and we'll do the same thing all over again, Lord willing. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, I plan on being here. Until that time, let's go forward. Let's go forward in God's joy. Let's let his joy be our strength. And let us always remember this, that you are loved. No doubt about it. Alrighty, I'll talk to you again tomorrow. You guys take care.